Hello again. Welcome to another installment of Speak Your Piece. I'm your host, Ronnie Q. Today, I'd like to discuss something a bit more, let's just say, current. It's an observation and a discussion at the same time. Um, I've noticed that over the past few months within this administration, so to speak, that a lot of people, and I don't mean our people, you know who they are. We're not saying anything. We know what people they are feeling very emboldened, very brave, so to speak, about how they want to speak, act, or interact with us as a culture, as a people, as human beings, period. Somehow, excuse me, they seem to think that it's okay to come at us all kinds of, negative and sideways and all out the mouth kind of ways with all types of belligerent behaviors and name callings and insultations and bigotry and racism and of all sorts of. In other words, they're getting comfortable. They're getting complacent with the way they approach us. And a lot of us, especially the newer generations, not the older generations, the newer generations, aren't sitting still, aren't sitting down, and aren't, being so, kumbaya, we shall overcome, let's all join hands and be at peace kind of thing. We're not doing that these days. And, it's becoming, what they call it, a FAFO moment. What was it, FAL, whatever? Something like that. But it is becoming that. They're finding out that it's a thing. Like, you can't just no longer think that the people of this generation, our people of this generation anyway, are like those of the more, turn the other cheek, leave it up to, the prayer, or leave it up to society to change, or leave it up to, to karma. No, we're creating our own instant karma. And as you can see, a lot of these people are finding out the hard way what it means to come across the wrong one, so to speak. Um, if you understand the dichotomy of how comfortable they have been lately, it's all over the news, social media, all types of platforms where people are finding out that you can't just walk up on anybody and say, hey, blah, 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 inward this, inward that, go back to this and go back to that, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And they'll just go, okay, get their head down and be like, all right, and walk away, and oh, I'm going to call the police. When knowing most of the time, if you do call the police, especially if you look like me or look like any other one of us, oh yeah, they weaponize police against us as it is. Let's put it out there. A lot of times you don't see that, nowadays. Now it's just people just don't care. Everybody's tired. Everybody's sick of it. Um, and I think that needs to be discussed. I know that sometimes it's discussed and sometimes it's overly discussed, but I don't think it's put into perspective of how it's affecting everyone. We are tired. We are just tired. Enough is enough. When is it going to become enough? And a lot of times the question is asked. I've seen thousands of streamers and podcasters and talk show hosts and news media hosts and always ask the same question. What did we do that made you hate us so bad? Besides exist. Are you that threatened? Are you that insecure? Are you that afraid that somebody will surpass you in all of existence because you are so mediocre, small minded, limited, fallible? I mean, let's be honest. A lot of times it's like a proverbial pissing contest. But and I just think that overall it needs to be discussed more honestly, more candidly. Instead of sensationalizing or trivializing it, like, oh, okay, that was then, this is now, we should all get together at the table of peace. What table are you looking at? Because nobody's sitting at that table. What society wants to think that, oh, as long as we try to find a more objective way to discuss things will just go back to normal. It'll be all okay. Really? Let's be honest. I mean, the realities are there. It's in plain sight. And at this point, who are we turning to? Most of our political icons are gone. Most of our great leaders are gone. We are all living in a system where we have to turn to one of our own that is succeeding at least letting them know that we are no longer going to stand still and be idle. And maybe I'm socially charging this, maybe I'm politically charging this, and maybe I'm, ethnically charging this. But let's just give it reality. Are we so comfortable that we are going to continue watching all of these behaviors go unpunished, watching all these behaviors go undiscussed or unblemished? What are we looking for? What are we sitting still for? I mean, there's a quote that I constantly say to people when I'm seriously trying to get across. It's like the revolution has already been televised. Now it's time for the movement. We have to continue the movement. We have to be the movement. And I think that as a person of color, as a black man especially, I think that we need to look beyond the stereotypes that media and society and the social construct put us under. And it's no longer a thing where we just go, okay, the social construct and society and everything else is keeping us, at a standstill. Well, no, not really. We have more power than than you think. But we have to become a collective. Not a hive mind collective of mindless followers to a belief system that does not work for us. But that's another discussion. But I'm not going to discuss it today. But that's another discussion. We're going to talk about that, next time we get on here. But let's become a collective mind. Let's become a conscious mind. Let's become an aware mind. And let's take back the word woke, because they use woke like it's just a buzzword to go, hey, that's a wrong. So you no longer should be enlightened. You no longer should be learning enough to understand that, oh, this is not where we should be as a culture, as a people, as an existence. We should not be aware to everything that is keeping us imprisoned in our own skins. Really? The time for that is over. Those days are over. We must move towards the forefront and become that which we should be. We should be able to achieve that which makes us succeed. And as far as being a sort of pillar for the culture, I think that the time has come for us to be greater at understanding and realizing our purpose. Because, with all due respect, it's not something we should be doing anymore. Sitting still is not working. The woulda, coulda, shouldas, and I'm gonna, and I woulda, I had to, I thought of it. No. We need to act and act accordingly. And we need to be that which we want to succeed. So with that said, this has been Ronnie Q. that said, peace. Y'all be cool.